Hi, my name is Gabrielle Fruget, and this is week 5 for Bellevue University. Welcome back, Amanda.
Hi.
How are you doing this week?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay, what
It
does
was,
okay mean?
well, it was kind of a rough week. My son didn't have that good of a week over the weekend. Well, last week after we met, my ex-husband called for the first time in quite a few weeks, and he spoke to the kids, and he promised them that he would come into town and take them camping. Spend some time with them. And the kids got all excited, even David's first sign of excitement I've seen since this whole ordeal. And the other day, probably Friday or, right before the weekend, right when he was supposed to be here, he called and canceled. And David did not take that too well. I had a really hard time calming him down about it. He got really mad and he stormed out the house. I assumed he was just going outside in the backyard. We have some trees that they like to go play around or whatever. But a few minutes after he went outside, I went to go check on him and he wasn't there. He had walked down the block, down a couple of blocks actually, and he was just roaming around like anything could have happened to him. And you know, it. I had my dad come with me to go pick him up, and my dad had tried to talk to him, and I don't know what they talked about, but my dad seemed optimistic that he was able to, talk some sense into him, and let him know that this kind of thing might happen from time to time.
So, how did that make you feel that the ex-husband did that to the kids?
Well, it pissed me off.
Mhm.
It's one thing to go all this time without attempting to spend time with them. And, you know, I was excited for them even when it happened, because they miss their dad. They don't ever get to see him anymore, and I want them to be able to spend time with him. And it's one thing for him to do something like that to me, but it's a completely different game for him to do that to them, and I'm not going to allow for it. So,
And were your children able to express how they felt?
Elizabeth was a little more vocal about it. David pretty much just stormed off. Like I think he was on the phone with his dad when he got mad, and like he didn't even wait for his dad to hang up. He just threw the phone and walked out.
Mm.
I had picked up the phone to ask him what happened, and that's when he told me. And so he talked to Elizabeth for a little while and explained to her, and she was sad, but she got over it a lot faster than David did. So I think he's still pretty upset about it.
So he's pretty much back to square one.
Yes and no. I think it, as much as I hate that he had to do that to him, I kind of think it might help David move past everything to see that it it wasn't just me or him, or I just hope he doesn't start blaming himself. You know? I don't know if that's even in the back of his mind or not, but I don't know. I don't think we took any steps back, but it definitely is hindering the next step.
Hmm.
You know?
Was he beginning to show any signs of improvement before that?
Um, Not really anything significant. I mean, his mood changed drastically once his dad had said he was coming, and he was pretty happy for a few days when he thought he was going to get to spend some time with him. But, uh, I mean, that all went downhill as soon as we got the phone call, so.
Were they able to reschedule for the future?
I'm sure he might try to, but David didn't want to hear anything of it yet, so.
Right. So have you still been looking for work and school?
Yeah, I think I pretty much narrowed down the place I want to go to school. It's a community college that's not too far from the house, and I've got the applications and everything filled out. I've just got to send them in and see what happens next.
So what do you feel about that step, going get the applications?
I'm very nervous. I'm really, really nervous. I haven't been in school in forever, so. But at the same time, I'm really excited, just because I know it'll help me to be more independent and be able to help take care of my kids.
And independence, is that a goal of yours?
Yes, I don't want to live with my parents forever. But right now, it's the smartest thing to do, especially while they're willing to help.
And how's the relationship with your parents?
It's fine. It's good. They're understanding, and I think especially after this last thing, they're, especially my mom is being a little bit more supportive with the whole situation. So.
Okay. Is there anything specific that you would like to work on today or to talk about?
Well, the main thing was just the incident with David. I don't know. I wasn't really prepared for this to happen, so I wasn't really sure what to do or how to calm him down or how to, I don't know, how to talk to him about it without sounding like I'm bad talking his dad.
Right. Is that something that you normally do, is bad talk his dad?
Not to him, not to the kids. I'll talk to my parents about it, and it's not necessarily talking bad about him. It's just, I'll just express my feelings, or maybe if I'm talking to one of my girlfriends from back home, then I might, but it's not when the kids are around. So,
Have you ever thought about maybe taking them camping without their dad? Do you think they would enjoy that?
They might. I think they were really getting excited about it, though, because they hadn't seen their dad in a while.
Right.
I can try, I guess trying to get everything settled down and try to get our life back into a routine kind of has me not really thinking about all the fun stuff we could be doing, away from home.
Are you able to have a conversation with your ex-husband?
Well, yeah, we've had conversations, yes, but and I've tried to keep it away from the hollering and everything like that. I've tried to be better about that, regardless of what he starts to say. I've gotten to where I'm just tired of hearing him or his excuses or whatever, so I try to make the conversation as brief as possible.
Were you able to voice your children's disappointment to him?
Yes. I had spoken to him later that night after the kids were in bed. I had called him, and I pretty much told him that was not going to happen again. And he said he was sorry, but it was all excuses, It was just him being selfish.
And when he starts to make excuses like that, how does that make you feel?
I'm just annoyed. Like, I don't need your excuses, Especially the bad ones. If you're going to make an excuse, make a good one at least. Make it sound plausible, I know he doesn't work weekends. He's got a job that allows him to be home on the weekends, so don't tell me you can't come because you've got to work overtime. His type of job, that's not something that he does. So, he should know I'm not stupid.
And what kind of relationship would you like to see your children and their dad have?
A loving one, regardless of how he treated me and what we went through as a couple. It's just not fair to the kids.